So today, as I said you yesterday, that today we'll be having some practice questions, and I'll do those practice questions in our second session, as we have usually done. So second session, I will give you some questions and we'll together solve them. And they will be during the class session because, so that they are done one way or other. Okay, so we talked about some important things. Yesterday, we talked about convergence, and we talked about some of the functions that are used to convert the values from one form to the other. So just taking a quick review. We have 1 more minute left before we formally start. Right. So yes, exactly. We are on time. So we talked about some type conversions. We talked about some operators, plus, minus, multiply. Then we talked about plus, plus, minus, minus. Then we talked about addition assignment, and then logical or and AND, which you all you were familiar, but you were familiar with and or. But now you should be familiar with these two terminologies, like, this pipe sign, double pipe, and double and percent. And then we talked about the not sign. Then we talked about equal or strict equal. Does anyone remember what was the strict equal? Like equal, equal, equal. What was the purpose of this three equal rather than having a two equal, which usually is the case, because we usually say that okay, that it stops coercion. That's wonderful, Kerry, thank you very much. It stops coercion, and it does not converts the value. Exactly, even if it's a string, it forces. Yeah, exactly. So actually, Neil, I think you want to say that it's just the opposite of that, basically, that equal, equal, equal will not change any type from any side, and it will just exactly match with the type. Anyhow, then we talked about less than, greater than. In the end, we talked about ternary operator. So I'm expecting that you understood this ternary operator, but I will just, start with that one. A quick review of that I will just give you, and then we'll just move forward. So if you have noticed, ternary operator is basically a short form of if and else. If and else, if and else, if and else. So you are familiar with if and elif, or like, for example, in Python. In the same way, actually, you see that if age is greater than or equal to 18, so there is a two condition, either it is true or it is false. If yes, this you are message should be saved in message, and you are underage should be saved in that one. So typically speaking, that what we are doing is that a ternary operator is typically like that. Yes, exactly. So basically what we do is that this ternary operator is basically is a short form of if and elsing, if and elsing, if and elsing. And of course, since it is the short form of this if and else, it actually gives us some interesting things, like, I will be using. Okay, no problem, Chris, no problem. I will be using this um, this ternary operator quite often in my programs, and I'll show you that what else we can do by using the ternary operator. Right. So let's talk about some more other interesting things about JavaScript. Okay. Remember, I think I have mentioned in the notes. I'll start with that today. I mentioned in the notes that there are three types of strings in JavaScript, and we have talked about only two. You remember string, inverted commas, single quotation, and third one was a question mark. I did not discuss that. So today I will just like to tell you some real important latest version of JavaScript, which type of strings it is using, and you will be really You will be really, appreciating that, because now see here. So we have talked about that if I ask you var s1 equal to some text, so you know that this is a string. And I told you that var s2 equal to some text. It is still a string, right? So these are the two ways we have discussed. Now today we are talking about the third way, and that is called, I'll just comment that one. That is called template literals. Template literals. Now, what does that mean by template literals? There is a special single quotation or special, literal, special, you can say the key in your keyboard that produces this backticks. Do you know where is this key? Backticks. It's not a single quotation, single quotation is this straightish ticks. But if I say backticks, this is a backish sort of the symbol. Do you know where is that on keyboard? Does anyone know how to bring this backticks? Can anyone type this backticks in the chat window? I'm talking about this, so I'll type that in the chat window as well, so that you can see. Oh yeah, that's wonderful. It's basically before your one key, top left, as Kiara says, top left as. So it's basically before our one key in the keyboard. Yeah. So in the keyboard, it you will find that one. Now this is very interesting. This is another way of writing strings, but this is very interesting way of writing strings. So if I write like s3 equal to backticks, this is also some text. Normal, and there is no big deal with that one. But I will tell you what is the real use of this. The real use of this template literal is that it allows us to do something called string interpolation. You can say expression interpolation rather than a string. String interpolation. Now, what is that string interpolation? So, for example, let me just I'll just take this example as well. But let's define something. Var name or var f name equal to ln and var age equal to 20. We have done this so many times, but now today I'm telling you that what's the important way, what is the backticks way or template little way of doing the same things, and it will make our life very easy. Now, if I want to console a message, I want to say, you see here, I want to say welcome, and then want to give space, and then I want to use the name. So I'll add welcome f name, right? And then I want to place a sign of exclamation after that. So I have to again hit a plus, then inverted commas, then plus, then your age is, then again, I have to concatenate the age over here. You know what I mean? I'll just, show you that to make this expression, I have to do a lots of things over here. Now let's run that and I'll show you what I really mean. Sorry. Node script.js. Welcome, Alan. Your age is 20. Now, this same thing can be written very easily by using the template literals. How come? I'll show you. Console.log, and I'm using backticks now. See here, backticks. So backticks, if I use backticks, it's very easy now. I'll just keep on writing my string as I am doing. And whenever I have to bring a variable, I'll just use these two special characters, $sign and curly braces. Now, after that, I can just write sign of exclamation once or twice. And then I will say, for example, comma, your age is, and I will just interpolate the age over here. Now, do you see that? I don't need to worry about this plus, where inverted commas is ending, where plus is starting, where inverted comma. There was exactly, you are right. F strings in Python, you have used that. So it's basically now what I can do is that I can use this backticks and do this kind of things. Make sense, everyone? And not only this, and of course you might understand that this is not, as I said, this is not string interpolation. It's basically an expression interpolation. What does that mean? I can come over here and I can say 2 plus 2. You know what I mean? And my output now will be welcome 4 because I have done the calculation. So it can have calculation, it can have any methods being applied. It can have, for example, if I say f name dot, for example, I say to uppercase, there is a function. I talk about these functions today. There is a default function to uppercase. So if I say if f name dot to uppercase, see what happens on output. You see that my second output has Alan capitalized. Neil showed me thumbs up. Everyone is understanding that? This is very interesting. Backticks gives you this facility of string interpolation or expression interpolation, and you can just interpolate your strings, and that would really do for you. Okay, that's wonderful. So now from now onward, I might be using these backticks quite often. And whenever I use these backticks, you have to just keep in mind, okay, I can now interpolate any variable over here, and that variable will work fine for me. Now we are about to move into some serious, serious programming JavaScript, but I'd like to tell you there are four basic control structures in JavaScript. What do I mean by control structures? The first one is sequential. Second one is looping. You know about that, and you would know this, all these things. And the third one, rather, the second one is conditional. Third is looping. Second one is conditional. And the fourth one is transfer. Now you might be thinking, what are these things? And I'll just, let you know what is this. So there are four basic control structures in JavaScript programming. What is they called? Sequential. Sequential means in sequence, your execution keeps on executing. Conditional, if and elsing. You want to run either this statement or that statement. That is called if and elsing. If this, then that, else, then else, that. Okay, that's called conditional. Looping, that this is basically the loops. And I would like to ask a question over here. Have you guys discussed this for loop in Python? Or maybe it's of a bit different syntax. But have you discussed the for loop somewhat in Python? Okay, that's wonderful. If you have done that, so we will just look at the different syntax. So sequential, in sequence, all instructions execute. Right? In sequence, all instructions execute. Conditional, so depending upon a, a series of step happens. I should say that which instruction will execute next, which instruction will execute next, because conditional, if this, then that, if that. Okay, Ian, thank you. You have used this for X and Y, and I will tell you some interesting new way of using the for loop, and hopefully you will enjoy that, and that would be a bit new for you. Anyhow, and then transfer refers to jump or invoke different part of the code. So I'll talk about jump, jump to a typical. So these are the four basic structures. Your program might be, doing a sequential thing, like statements running one after the other in the same sequence. Or maybe there can be if and elsing, and if and elsing means that you are If this happens, then run this, and if that happens, then run that. Right? This is called conditional. And the third one is called looping. As I've told you that there are different types of loops that we have, and we will be running those loops. And the third one is, again, we will be transferring our control from one part to the other. So now what I'll do, I'll just make the examples for all of them. So first of all, let's talk about the first, sequential, right? And this is the easiest one of them, the easiest one. Now, if you see, what do you mean by sequential? Sequential means, for example, I have statements var a equal to 2, var b equal to 3, and var c equal to a plus b. Sequentially, these statements will execute, and no big deal, no rocket science, right? These are called sequential statement. First this statement, then second, then third, of not 1 plus b, a plus b. So, right. So this is basically the sequential instructions. You know what I mean? So when statements are executed in a very obvious sequence, they are called sequential. Now conditional. This I will just write some code which will be a bit interesting for you, which might be a bit new, or not new, but syntactically it would be new for you. Now yes, let's talk about a code. So I say var grade. Someone has a grade, like and var marks equal to 86. Right? I just defined a grade and defined a marks. Top to bottom, not function. Exactly, yes. Neil, it's basically in sequence, top to bottom, not function, no jumping, no condition, no looping. You know what I mean? Okay. So now we are talking about if and else. So I have two variables, grade, which has no value, marks, which has a value of 86. If marks greater than or equal to 90, you would have done this type of exercise in Python as well. If marks are greater than or equal to 90, grade equal to A plus. Does that make sense to everyone? If the marks are greater than or equal to 90, the grade should be awarded as A plus. Else, if marks is greater than or equal to 80, here you should be looking at the syntax. I'm making the blocks after if and else. I think you are not familiar with too much with the blocks. So grade equal to A, because the marks are greater than or equal to 80. Else, if marks are greater than or equal to 70, right? Make another block. I'm making block out of block out of block, block after block. So grade equal to plus whatever what you want to allocate. And let's complete that. Else, if marks is greater than or equal to 60, right? And grade equal to C. Right? So we'll just keep that one. And last, else. There is no else if over here. Else. So if the marks are not greater than that one, grade equal to F. Now, is it a bit syntactically new for all of you? I don't know if because you're not familiar with these blocks of blocking. So I've created the first block. If marks is greater than or equal to 90, grade is equal to A plus. Else, if marks is greater than 80, grade is equal to A. Else, if marks is greater than or equal to 70, grade is equal to B. Else, if marks is so I'm just making that okay marks. So according to our given marks, can you tell me what will be the value of grade right now? What will be the value of grade for considering this situation right now? A. So you know why? Because as you say, David, why B? It's greater than 80, David. You see greater than 80. And let's type that. Let's check that one. So now you see what I'm trying to, let's use the backticks over here. The marks are, now first of all I want to type the marks, and the grade is dollar grade. But everyone, now let's run that one. David, David, you see that it would be A because it's greater than 80. Now, if I just keep on changing the marks, 76, what will be the grade now? Of course, B. And the same way, right? So you can just check that one. Now there is another very important and very interesting statement. Rather than running this statement, I would like to know about one another thing from you. Have you discussed or have you seen this switch statement in Python? Switch statement. Have you seen this switch statement in Python? You don't recall? Neil does not recall. Anyone recalls, or maybe? Okay, not that you remember. Okay, it means that you have not discussed that one. Now listen, it's a very interesting one. Okay, if you do not know, I'll just explain that a bit more in coming lectures, but let's discuss that. Switch is just like our real life switch. So we pass a value to switch. It matches those values with different cases. Whatever case is found, it executes that case's body. What does that mean? See here, I am passing the grade into it. So I'll make the first case. This will be called case, and colon will come over here. Look at the syntax of switch. Switch, and I've passed grade into this one. And I'm saying if the grade is A plus, right, colon, I want to execute some statement. So for example, I want to say console.log, congrats, right? And then console.log, and let's take a backtick, right? Your grade is again dollar grade. Every case should have a break statement inside that one. Every case should have a break statement in that one. What does that mean? So grade will be passed to this one. It will check with, let me just complete that. I'll make 3 more cases like exactly as we have done before. Is slipping from here. Okay, and let's now you see here case A plus, case A, sorry, case A and case B and case C and case F, and I will have one more. I'll just tell you about that. So, okay, for A plus, we say congrats, your grade is A plus. So I'll say nice job. You see, I'm just making the different mistake. Nice job. Your grade is A. Good work, right? So just your grade is B, and okay. So any message, no, your grade is C because we are not giving. So now bad. It is F, right? Something like that. So what's happening now? See here. I have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases over here, right? So the first case is that if the grade value that has been passed over here is A plus, if this case is matched, the body of this typical case will execute. And after execution of these two statements, it will execute break. Break means go out of the body. Don't need to execute any other cases over there. Now, let me tell you a very interesting fact about if, and you won't be surprised by that. And right now, the type of work that we are doing, it might not be too much of our concern, but listen about that. If marks are, for example, if I write 96, Do you see? Even the first condition is matched over here. If marks are greater than 96, grade is equal A plus, and it should, else if means it should not go to this one. But there's a slight tweaky technical problem with if and else if, that even though it would be matched over here, it will still rather check this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. You know what I mean? You might find it very weird that, okay, why it's doing, because if it's matched, it should not go to else if. But what it does is, even though the first case is matched, it will go to the second one, then if. So it means, again, not in our current context, it's a small calculation. But if you have a big program, very big program, and you are using an if else, sometimes it might take a good amount of time because it is trying to compare all those things. You know what I mean? So anyhow, that is one of the motivation behind using the switch. And what we do is that LB switch every switch case has a break. So whenever you put a break, for example, these two lines execute, break means go out of the body of the switch. Does that make sense to everyone? In the same way, case will be matched with A. If A is matched, nice job. If case is matched with B, good work. C, hello. F, bad. You know what I mean? And every switch has a default case. Just default. What is this default? Default case says console.log wrong grade assigned. You know what I mean? I'll just show you wrong grade assigned. And even people use break over here as well, even though there is no use of break over here, but I'll use that break as well here. Are you guys getting this switch statement? Now, what happens if the grade is A plus, this will be matched. If the grade is A, this will be matched, this will execute. This will match. And if the grade has come out something really bad, we don't know, like it's not A, B, C or A plus F, rather it is something else. So for example, I'll just show you. First of all, let me show you. Now the grade is past A plus. Now let's run this program and see what happens. What is the output? You see, congrats, your grade is A plus. Why? Because marks are 96. If I make it 56, right? Now see which case will execute, of course, now. Bad, your grade is F because 56, we have just done 55. Now, if I say 66, for example, I run my program. You see, hello, your grade is C. Would default be similar to a else, as I don't meet any of the? Exactly, Neil, you are right. Default is just like that. And now that's the same thing that I wanted to show you. For a second, if I comment this one, and again, by myself, I assign a grade, and I assign a grade T, which is not a valid value. So see, now default will execute, Neil, you know what I mean? I've intentionally given that T. So now if you see here, if you see wrong grade assigned, and what case is matched over here? No case is matched. T is not given over here, and default console log wrong grade assigned. Now, here is a small practice question that I have not included in today's practice question, but I'm writing it over here, and you can just, include that one as well, or later on I'll include that one. You have to use switch to make a monthly calendar program. By monthly calendar, I mean that I will set up a month. For example, if I pass January, the January case should execute, and January should display some messages according to January. February, March, April, maybe weather messages or something, and everyone should have a case. Switch to make a monthly calendar. You know what I mean? And we'll be doing that in our next session. Don't worry. I will add this question also over there, but just keep in mind, we'll be making this switch statement as well, because switch is something new for us, and we will be just, trying to practice that switch as well. Got everyone? Now I'll just talk about that later on. Okay, so this was the second type. Remember, conditional. So now I'll just make everything comment because I don't want these two. So conditional is done. Everyone understand conditional? Run this or that or that. So, typically it will execute any of the thing depending upon the situation. Looping, and this will also be a bit new for you because I've told you are familiar with for off loop, but today I'll be telling you for loop in a very different sense. So for example, yes, so I'll just discuss that over here. Writing a program, just write with me, and then we'll see that how for loop works. For r I is equal to 1, I less than 11, I plus plus. This plus has now appeared. Someone was asking what will be the use of this plus plus minus minus the other day as well. And I discussed that complex thing, but again, this is also one of the thing. Dot log. And again, let's use backticks. So I will say I, the value of I is, and if I want to print the value of I will just, do this one. And total is total. I would like to use this quite often now, this backticks. Okay. So if this is looking a bit complex, I will just make it a comment for a second, and I will make you understand the for loop in general. For loop is a very interesting loop, and I'll go to the notes, by the way, to make you understand for loop. For loop. For loop has a very interesting, syntax in C language. In C language, by the way, this is from the C. The first thing is called initialization. Then a terminator comes, like this sign of exclamation comes. Then comes condition. And then comes increment or decrement. It can be increment or it can be decrement. And then comes the body of the for loop. Now see here, and I will be making a drawing over here, and I would like you to just understand that. Whenever for loop executes, the first step that executes is called initialization. A variable is initialized with some value. Step number 1. Step number 2, after initialization, condition is tested. If condition is true, we go inside the body of the for loop and execute all the body. You know what I mean? When body is completed, we reach to this point, like the curly braces comes, we go back, but over here we do increment or decrement in the variable. After so this becomes step 3, going inside, and this becomes step 4, going to increment decrement. After increment decrement, we again check the condition. So step 5, again check the condition. If the condition is true, we'll go again and execute. Unless condition will be true, we'll keep on executing that. When the condition becomes false, what we'll do? We'll go out of the loop. False, condition false. Let's see who is smart enough and who is quick enough to take a screenshot of this. Let's see who will come up with a screenshot. Just quick. They will get extra point today in the practice questions session next. I'm waiting for the screenshot. No one is here. Oh, that's wonderful. Neil, you won. Neil has won. So now, if you guys understanding what's going on over here, that initialization happens, and then condition is tested. If condition is true, we go in the body, execute the body. After that, we increment or decrement. And after that, we again check condition. If condition is still true, go in the body and keep on executing. And when the condition becomes false, go out of it because condition has become false. Everyone understands that? The basic syntax of this one. Now I would like to introduce that in a very simple program. This program I'll discuss later on. I'll just left it over here. For, I told you that first thing is called initialization. So I say var I equal to 0. I have initialized I with 0. Make sense, everyone? Then comes condition I less than 5, for example, and I plus plus, increment or decrement. Mackenzie says okay. Now see. Now let's console something for your understanding. Let's console over here only I. I want to print this I, right? Output, because I will show you and I'll make you understand how this loop is running. Output says 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll take my marker and now I'll show you something what's going on. First of all, initialization happens. I becomes 0. And try to understand that. If someone is making not sense, please let me know. I become 0, initialization, step number 1. Step number 2, condition tested. 0 less than 5. Condition is true or false? 0 less than 5. Is it producing true or false? This is an expression. This is producing true or false. Is it true or false? 0 less than 5. True. Okay, if it is true, go in the body and execute the statements. It executed the statement and I was the value 0. So did it print 0 over here, Kara? Does that make sense? It prints 0 over there. After that, it reaches this point. And it goes now to increment or decrement. I plus plus. I plus plus means now I becomes what? 1. Now, condition is tested. No, it added 1. Then 1 was less than 5. So it did again until it was 5. Yeah, exactly. So see here. So now see here. Now 1. And it checks that one. Condition 1 is less than 5. Kara, condition is still true, right? So if it is true, it will go inside and print 1. And come over here and again go increments of 1. It becomes 2. 2 is less than 5. Print that. Again, execute the body. Again, increment. Increment means now it becomes 3. 3 is less than 5. Condition true. Go and execute and print 3. Okay. Still condition is now increment and it becomes 4. 4 less than 5. Condition is still true. Go and print 4. Increment 5. Now 5 becomes this one. Now 5 less than 5. Is it true or false? Anyone? Not Kara. Because Kara has been replying. 5 less than 5. Is it true or false? It's false. If it is false, just go out of the loop. Just go out of the loop. Everyone understands that? This is a very important, and I want you to understand the basic, the structure, the syntax of for loop, because we'll be using this for loop quite often. So many times we'll be using that one. Now, if you had equal, yeah, exactly. So, if I had this one less than or equal to, now my output would be a bit different. Can anyone tell me what will be my output now? Less than or equal to. What will be my output now? Anyone? Now, yeah, exactly, Neil. Thank you. Now I have 5 as well. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Because for 5 condition will also be true. 5 equal to 5. Less than or equal to means 5 equal to 5. Does everyone understand that? Yes, exactly. It would include Colin says 5 and Kara says, Ian says 5. Yeah, exactly. So that's what. Can I ask something from you guys? Quickly, and again, there is a interesting point. Plus plus I would it print 5. No, Kara. Kara, I will come to this discussion. This is a very important discussion. You might be thinking plus plus I would do something else, but that's not the case. I'll tell you, Kara. Just wait for that. First of all, I need you to. I am producing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's keep it to 5. I want you to produce this result. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now, can you do that? Quickly write down the code. Kara, I'll discuss this plus plus I and I plus plus later on. Not right now. So can you write the code to generate this code by using this for loop? I'm waiting for solution from someone. Waiting for solution from someone. Okay, would it just use I minus minus I equal to 5, I greater than equal to. Yeah, that's wonderful. Ian, that's wonderful. Ian says I should be initialized with 5 and I should be greater than or equal to, not less than. You know what I mean? And I should be minus minus. Colin, you got it right. Oh, sorry, not Colin. En. But the problem is this, it should not, okay, sorry, I just used 5. It should be 0. Here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. How many others just got this one before Ian? Like Ian has just mentioned that one. It's not only we'll use minus minus Ian. We have to just mention the initialization will be the different, and I is greater than 0 is that becomes that is also different. Yes. How many of you have done that? Like again, without looking at this solution, Ian's solution. Okay, Mark says yes. Mark has done that. Anyone else? William, Neil, William, Glenn has done that. Okay, that's wonderful. Oh, you are working on it. Okay, no problem, Neil. You are working on it, and that really makes that makes complete sense that they were working. Right. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so this is basically what I had originally declared the var out of the for loop declared. Yeah, you can do that as well. But if you do that, okay, so yes, this is also possible. But you need to just maybe declare it over here, and you just said that var I. David, you can do that. Var I is equal to 5. Any case, this will be initialization. Any case, this will be initialization. You know what I mean? That it would be initialization. Right. Okay. Right on. So this is basically this is the way that we can just make this for loop happening. So right now, I just did not want to just tell that about that, but let's discuss that as well. Like the program that I made before that one, I'll just take that program and I'll copy it afterwards. And I'll give you some practice question related to this one as well, for loop as well. But this is one of the questions that you see here. Var total is equal to 0. There is a total variable which is equal to 0. In the for loop, we have initialized I with 1. See here. And I is less than 11 means I will go till 10. Then I plus plus. So total plus equal to I. You remember total plus equal to I. Whatever is the value of I, add that into the total and store that in the total, right? Update the total with that one. Console.log I is this and total is this. So I will be just, printing that one. Do you know what will be the output over here? We will have, it will give each and every step. It will say I is equal to 1 and total is 1. I is equal to 2 and total is 3. 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1. I is equal to 4 and total is 10. 5, 15, 6, 21, 7, 28, 8, 36, 9, 45, 10, 55. So it is giving me sum of all the numbers. Is that making sense to you, this program? Making sum of all the numbers. And as I said, today I will add some practice questions of this loop as well. But do you understand this for loop now? I is starting with 1 and going till 10. So 1 to 10, they are running that loop. Okay, Kelly says yes. So as I said, today we'll be having, we will be having typically the practice questions, and I will include some practice questions of that one as well. right? So I'll give you ample practice questions for this one, and we'll do that all that in the second session today. Okay, so this was the third part or third type, looping. What was the fourth one? You remember? Transfer or jump. We talked about that the fourth one is basically, sorry, the fourth one is basically transfer or jump. So I'll talk about that one. So you remember transfer or jump means that we want to move from one part of the code to the other part of the code. Let's talk about that. Transfer. So now, for example, I'll just make you understand this function, but I'm just giving you an example. There's a function add a comma b. If we say if there is no b, do what? Return a, else return a plus b. Now you will see that, and as I said, I'll make you function explain very clearly, but you might understand that there is a function add a b. So I'm saying if not b, if someone has not passed the b to over there, which might be the case. If there is no b, just return a from this function. So function will transfer from this part to outside, and this line will never execute. You know what I mean? And if there is both values, no, not b is not true. It means b is over there. It will go over there and return a plus b. How many of you are making sense of this one? And again, I will just explain function and everything. But do you make sense of it? If there is no b being declared over there, return a. Just return a, and return means we will go out of this function. And if b is defined, again, this condition is false, then return a plus b. You know what I mean? So return will be statement executed, and we will jump out of it if there is no b being executed. It won't generate a plus b. And again, it might be making a little sense, but I will make you explain everything. But how many of you understand that? Okay, I'm understanding. So it will either return a, this function will either send throw out back a, or it will throw out back a plus b. If there will be b defined, it will be a plus b thrown out. If there will be no b defined, it will be a thrown out of it. And the transfer will be done. So again, as I said, this is all that we'll be discussing a lot in our coming classes, and this is what we have to just discuss, and we will just see that how we will just use this function. And by the way, let me just use that function as well. I've just defined that one, and if I want to just if I have a, for example, total, and I say total equal to add, I just pass add is equal to 25. You know what will happen? What I will get returned? What will the value of total? Can anyone tell me? Console.log. If I print total over here, what will be the outcome? If you ask somebody to add up 3 numbers, it's a way to only submit 2 numbers and not get an error because there is no third. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's right. Kara, you're right. The answer will be 25 here. Now, if I pass 25, 25 or something like that, what will happen then? Of course, I'll get the result of 50. Now I'll get the 50. Yes, Ian, you are right. It's a way that you are telling, okay, if there is no second parameter has been defined, you just do something like that. Right. So this was again just for the transfer, showing that sometimes the function will be called as the S value, and sometimes it will be called as some different things. Right. So it very much sums up a basic introduction of JavaScript. And now we will start real code in JavaScript. And as I said before that, today we'll do ample practice questions of all these concepts that we have done. I will prepare a file, and then I'll share with you in our second session today at 1 p.m. And then you will be just, doing those practice questions in that session. And I'll be checking that. Like again, one by one, you'll be just doing that, solving that. And I will be checking that again. Why? Because I know that most of the times you are busy with your QAP2, you are just trying to do that. So, but for the class session, what I'll do is that practice question we will do, and those practice questions will be for today. Right, everyone? So now I'll see you at 1 p.m. and I will be with some practice questions that you will be solving over there. Any questions thus far from any of these topics? Notes are filed at that. And I remember, I think I did not share these files last time in our meeting. The code file, McKinsey, you did not inform me. You always, just, intimate me that, okay, that is not there. But anyhow, what I'll do is that I'll just add that over here. So code files for today, and I'll add that in our like general section as well. Code files, right? And what I'll do is that I'll just copy that one because it's always let me just rename them because oh my god, what's going on? Oh, sorry. Okay, so I'll just rename this one and I'll say week 5. I'll say nodesjs.txt. It's good, but this script, I'll just rename it or maybe make a copy of it. And I'll call this script for today, like, script one. Again, just to make, so I'll upload this one and nodesjs.txt. If it is already there, no problems. I'll just, add that. Now I'm uploading that. So any questions, anyone? I'm just uploading the document. By the time I'm uploading the document, you can just ask a question.
I have a question about the QAP2.
Yeah.
Where we're making the cards, or I guess that we're sectioning things off. Did you want that done for every page? Like if we have multiple pages and multiple photos, or just maybe one page with everything on it? I'm just curious.
So yeah, that's a very good question, Neil. So Neil, it's basically if you see the real essence behind that, I want you to have a one page where your animals or whatever species you have selected, it has like maybe many species of there, and just one page should represent those cards. It does not mean that you have, but every page should be a CSS, CSS affected page. There should be styling applied to every page. You know what I mean? But not exactly the card CSS, but the CSS should be there on every page.
Okay, so just maybe one page with the cards, but CSS applied to every other page.
Exactly. The website should be in a very sync form. Again, the same coloring scheme on all pages. But yes, one page there where you have just collected maybe some diagrams, some species or something. You just make them cards as like cards, right?
Okay, thank you so much, Norman. Appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Mark, that's a good question. If you have done only one, one of them, then I would recommend you that you do what? Maybe just for nothing, add maybe 2 more animals or 2 more plants so that, we get that card effect and it's shown over there. You know what I mean? So it's up to you, by the way, but I think that you should do that. Yeah. So add something. So what I'll do is that lecture week 5, I'll just, delete this. Oh, I added that one over there. So I'll just delete it and I'll just upload that new folder. Yeah, I have to dedualize. Oh, I'll have to just do that. Okay, no problem. It always does that problem. So I will just upload. Script 1 and Node.js. Just keep both. So I'll just place Node.js 1 and 2. Right. So, okay. So you'll find these documents over there as well. I'm stopping recording now. See you at 1 with some good, nice practice questions.